I knew of Kassy from our hometown. I'd heard of her.
I grew up on a farm. I was the oldest of 5 kids. And what that really taught me was a lot about responsibility, accountability, seeing a job through. We lived in a world where you did the job yourself. You know, you relied on each other and yourself to see it through.
She worked with another individual at C&B, and they were kind of like the core of the marketing department. She was the brains behind all of the language and the strategy and all that. And then Brian was the brains with the digital and the graphic, and together they were this amazing force.
I really lean into the research side of things. I really dove into understanding your competition, what the market segment is doing, and you kind of discount all that stuff when you're going to school, like, oh, I'm never gonna have to do this process is dumb. But then you get into the real world and you realize, like, hey, I have these skills.
They would come back from every event or everything that they worked on together, even Kassy still today, it's like, that was great, and we'll celebrate it for all of like 5 seconds with a little golf clap, but then it's like, what do we do better next time? How do we get better? And she'll have like 12 ideas of, here's what went great, but here's what we're gonna do next time.
We had an event we did a few years ago, and it was by Admiral William McRaven. He said, if you can't do the small things right, you'll never get the big things right.
Seek first to understand. She uses that a ton, and it's easy for a lot of us to jump to conclusions about why people did what they did, whether it's personally or professionally, and she reminds me of that often.
So I was a young mother. I was in college when I had my firstborn, and that was a huge motivator for me of like providing for her, and I was never gonna let her down. You know, the best piece of advice I got during that time was, don't be afraid to ask for help.
She's a mom of 5 and a great wife, and I think she brings a lot of that to work too, about caring about other people and really driven to see them develop and grow in their careers as well.
Our family was incredible. We had really strong family support. People who maybe weren't always thrilled with the situation, but were there for you. They loved you unconditionally and were willing to do whatever it took to help you through it.
If we have a group of people interested in something, how do we get them more interested? How do we drip more information? So some of it is a little bit more metrics driven, but I will tell you, she cares a lot about other people, a lot. And so I would tell you a lot of the intangibles too are the difference that she makes in other people's lives.
Fast forward 5 kids later, you know, we're living this crazy life, and everyone's like, how do you do it? How do you work? How do you maintain the family? And it's all your mindset, you know, but it started with those early years of like, when you're really struggling, you gotta get the right mindset, and you gotta find the right people to connect to and not be afraid to ask for help.